You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And happy holidays, everybody. This is Saturday, November the 24th, and you have entered Overtime, where tonight we bring closure to what has been an absolutely fantastic week of holiday tournament basketball action. Even in the absence of getting a couple of teams to state championship football games in St. Louis or Champaign, and you people know how much I love them, it's been a blast getting to get back immediately and immerse ourselves into the hardcore hardwood culture. Historic venues, some really intriguing teams under the bright lights for the first time this season, and getting to see a lot of old friends in the stands, some just back for the week from college, just to see their alma maters in action. It's a fact. I do indeed have the best job in the entire world. And tonight that job begins with a roll call of Turkey Tournament titleists, starting with a most compelling showdown at the pit. Absent one, unfortunately, very important piece of the puzzle. No Paxton Harmon for West Hancock tonight, still in street clothes for his showdown with Quincy Notre Dame. Let us take you to the highlights between these two teams. Hall of Fame night at 10th and Jackson. Bob Keys, the longtime coach of Raider basketball, among the honorees. First half, tough going for the Titans. Austin Hardy's three. That only cuts the lead to 30-14 at the break. Second half, more of what the Raiders do. Chris Dietrich, one of his 7 dimes, hooks up with Alex Fitch. Then this is Matt McPherson. Emphasis on the syllable fierce as McPherson throws that in very nicely as well. West Hancock trying to answer at the other end, courtesy of Parker Gibbs, but the barrage continued. QND already up double digits. They're just going to keep expanding in this one. It's Alex Fitch on the down low, fading away and knocking that jumper in. How about some transition fun? I mentioned Dietrich great with the dimes night, had 7 of those. This is a pretty bucket as well for Chris Dietrich as he finishes with the swoop to the hoop. Then some defense right here as well from the other Dietrich. Hook it up this time at the other end, as the ball eventually ends up in the hands of Alex Fitch. He had 25 points on the night, and it was Fitch to finish this thing as Quincy Notre Dame runs away from a admittedly undermanned West Hancock team tonight, but Quincy Notre Dame will be the winner of the Suns Classic QND Gully Tip-Off Tournament crossover tonight as the Raiders get the big win. Final count in this one was 59-20. We'll talk more about that. Let's take you, though, to Blue Devil Gym tonight. Jim Hinkle, the Algonquin-Jacobs coach, making his last appearance tonight after 17 seasons coaching at Algonquin-Jacobs. Got a standing ovation tonight and a nice plaque from the Blue Devil faithful. Really classy show at Quincy High School tonight. Great guy, Jim Hinkle. A lot of fun, and I like his hairstyle an awful lot as well. Blue Devils, meanwhile, had a window of opportunity tonight to end up winning this championship despite that loss on Thursday, so they go to work in this one. Martin Kvitley with the early take, and then it was Connor Mellon. He was great in the low blocks in this game early. You will see him clean up the Martin Kvitley miss right here, go up amongst 3 Jacobs defenders, and take that back up. A 7-0 run to start for the Blue Devils in this game. However, momentarily, it looked like Jacobs was going to get back into this one. A couple of back-to-back buckets by Ladinsky there tied this thing up at 7. The Blue Devils get right back rolling in this one. Zach Burry from the outside for the triple. Then it's this guy, Cole Abbey. Oh, with the feint step and the bank shot. He's got the full arsenal, does Mr. Abbey, putting that away right there. Then, how about some more Connor Mellon? Mellon, baller tonight as he just went to work in the low blocks. We told you the Blue Devils needed some presence down low. Mellon would provide it not once but twice right here as he gets free again. Jacobs powerless to stop him in the first quarter as Quincy's going to build a big lead. They're not going to look back in this one. I mentioned Connor Mellon. Really, really good stuff right here from Cole Abbey as well. Look at the pass right there to Barnell Thomas. All Blue Devils in this one as they win 51-25. And by virtue of that victory and the fact tonight that we had a loss unexpectedly out of Carbondale to Urbana earlier, 3 teams end up with 2-1 records. So the tiebreaker here, for better or for worse, ends up being free throw percentage. And Quincy High School at over 73% from the charity stripe had the best free throw percentage of any of the 3 teams who went 2-1. So the Blue Devils are your tournament champions. Hey, we're not going to curse it. Great weekend for Sean Taylor's crew as they build a little momentum headed into the regular season. We've got more for you tonight. Let's take you to the Saki tournament. We've got undefeated Plains taking on Pittsfield tonight. This one to decide it. Plains just had to win out tonight. Pittsfield was going to make that very difficult. Saki slowing down the pace in this one. Wade Smith gets the first bucket of the night right here to make it 2-0 Pittsfield. That was deep into the first quarter. Cardinal guards unafraid to shoot. They kept it close early. Oh, look at that great shot right there. That's a coach's son working it for you right there. More to come right here. How about Smith with the layup block? But here comes Brant Best to clean things up. Sauky's down just one at that point. Late first quarter, Pittsfield with another offensive board right here. Dylan Woodward puts the Saukies up 6-5. That would be the same score to end the first in this one. Second quarter, Plains went up 4, but Mr. Best would cut it back to 2, making it a 10-8 game. The Saukies just would not quit in this one. Kennedy Cattleman going to step outside, coming up right here, and he is going to show you his distance. From long range, Mr. Cattleman throwing in the 3 at that point. This was a close game throughout. The Saukies also get a 3 by Cameron Herring that closes the half on a 9-2 run for them. They tied it up at 17 apiece. Second half, Pittsfield would hit its first 3 field goals, Wade Smith making them count as they would take an early 20-7 lead in this game in the third quarter, as you will see Mr. Smith go to work. However, for all of Wade Smith's heroics on the night, unfortunately in the fourth quarter things got away from the Saukies. They end up losing to Plains. Cliff Cameron's team goes undefeated in this thing. Plains is your tournament champion by virtue of a 51-36 win in the cleanup game tonight as well. How about the Hannibal Pirates trying to make it 2 straight tonight as they would go to work against Payson Seymour, a team coming off that inexplicably kind of lopsided loss to Plains yesterday. Disappointed, I know Brian Ray was. Not so much disappointed today. In the second quarter, his team explodes. Cody Hildebrand right here to Jake Voss, who gets back to Hildebrand for 2. Indians up 5 at that point. The Pirates not backing down. It's the freshman Dylan Powell missing the shot, ripping away the rebound, and getting the bucket, the Band-Aid, and the 3-point play. Later, Mitch Nichols finds Jeff Damon cutting backdoor for the 2. It's tied up at 31 again. Hannibal made a run back into this game. More Hannibal this time. Eric Hugenberg, the 3-point specialist, puts the Pirates up at one point, by 1 at this point. Payson, though, finds a way to take it back and take the lead down the stretch. Lance Bulig, he was a sniper this weekend. 3 for him, made it 52-49 Payson. More Cody Hildebrand. He is a scoring machine, draws a little contact, puts one in on the bank shot. The and 1 makes it a Payson lead by 8. And how about 2 more right here of Mr. Hildebrand's 24 points on the game. Payson bounces back. Ugly first quarter a little bit for Payson, a little bit of an ugly patch, but they look really good coming off this tournament. Nevertheless, despite yesterday's loss, as Payson Seymour gets the win and ends up finishing in second. How about Liberty and Griggsville Perry? Final on that one, by the way, 69-54. Liberty and Griggsville Perry going at it in the third game of the day. Todd Bradshaw, his team looking for the first win of 2012. Close game early on in this one. Liberty going to work. Brett Genenbacher right here with the defense, a little larceny. He's going to find Michael Mast wide open at the other end of things, and he is going to kiss one neatly off the window right there. The Tornadoes, though, would respond down 1 at that point. Matthew Kennedy going to work right here to find a little space for himself and find the pretty runner. Makes that fall in as it banks off the glass. Later, it's Caleb Bradshaw with a handoff to Hayden Bradshaw. It's Bradshaw's everywhere in this one, and Mr. Hayden Bradshaw going to hit the baseline runner. Eagles, though, transitioning and making it work effectively for them. Again, Brett Genenbacher finding his way free right here to the hoop. You will see him in just a second. Going to find his way free to the hoop here in just a second, as you will see the Eagles in transition. There's Genenbacher running away from everybody. The earlier bucket, by the way, Matthew Kennedy. Sorry, I skipped over that. How about some more from right here? Excellent play by Caleb Bradshaw right here, driving and hitting the scoop in the paint. Griggsville Perry down just 7 at this point, but Liberty surged to close the first half. Austin Mast for 3. The Eagles up 13. They never looked back in this game. Sloppy, but victorious they were tonight as Liberty gets the win, and Liberty looks good in doing that as well. 63-51 would be your final there. Elsewhere for you on the day, we've got more to bring you. Highlights and scores as well. Let's take you to the Jacksonville Championship. We already knew they were going to win this thing yesterday, but they ended up finishing the deed with a win over Northwest Academy today at the Alton Tip-Off Classic. Josh Peak was named the MVP of the entire tournament, scored 82 points in 3 games. Good for Josh Peak. Actually, that was 4 games, I should say. Good for Josh Peak. Good showing to open the season by the Jacksonville Crimsons. The news not as good tonight for the Macomb Bombers. They end up leaving Canton winless. They struggle again with their offense tonight. Macomb loses to Canton 41-27. The Bombers were outscored 20-2 in that pivotal second frame in that ball game. Also, at the Gene Berkschneider tournament down in New Berlin, we've got a winner for you tonight for West Central as the Cougars end up taking 3rd place, winning over New Berlin. 44-40 was your final there. News not quite as good for Rushville Industry as the Rockets take a loss tonight at the expense of Lincolnwood. Final count in that one, as you see, will pop up here in a second. Apparently it will not. There it is. 50-33 your final as Lincolnwood would end up beating Rushville Industry. More for you, as I promised, back from the Suns crossover game, third place game between Western and Unity. Pat Rafferty's Western Wildcats battling for that coveted third place trophy in this one. How about a wild scrum right here? Some defense, some sloppy play, but at the other end of it, Alex Blickhand shows his moxie, comes up with a loose ball, going to run away from everybody and take the early deuce right there for his team. Kyle Warning, though, had answers at the other end. He had a really nice night, scored 11 points. Kyle Warning, very nice player on the inside, comes free. Nobody's going to guard him, and he's going to kiss one off the plexiglass. Isaac Hively from outside knocks down a three as well. Be a three-point lead there for Western. Andrew Doyle and Unity coming back. Doyle coming around two defenders and finding his way 3-2. More to come in this one. Check out the beautiful passing coming up from Western in this sequence. As you're going to see, eventually you're going to see Brian Johnson hook up with Kyle Warning again. That's coming here in just a second after the ball comes free, and after at the other end of things, Western gets the run defensively. They're going to end up, look at the passing right here, as Warning is going to get a beautiful pass from Brian Johnson, and just like that, the lead back to Western. How about some Dylan Schaefer, though, in the Unity Mustangs, as they're going to finish the first half strong. They're going to finish off Western strong in this game. From the outside, Dylan Schaefer for the three, and Alex Blickhand again showing his toughness in this game as well. As the Unity Mustangs take third place, they end up getting the victory in this one, and good showing for them. 53-40 was your final. Earlier in the night, it would be Central picking up its first win of the season in the fifth place game, beating Southeastern of Augusta 32-22. Cole Phillips leading the way in that ball game with 15 points for the victorious Panthers, who have yet to have a single practice this season due to the long pigskin season. And when we come back, we will dive into a busy slate of girls action for the evening, including an impressive home debut for the two-time defending state champion, Quincy Notre Dame Lady Raiders.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar, brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody, where it's time to let the Dynasty Watch begin anew. Your two-time defending Illinois State champions, those Quincy Notre Dame Lady Raiders, staged their home opener this afternoon with a good old parochial powwow against a Jacksonville Route team that is very highly regarded in Class A this season, with a bunch of really good seniors back. How would this play out? You know how Quincy Notre Dame is. They are a tough, tough team, especially on their home digs. The Lady Raiders taking on Route, and this would be a bit of a quick start for Eric Orn's team. Joe Eilering calling for the Badger play early. He could have used a live Badger in this one to maul people, because that was the best chance he had. QND going to work like a feeding frenzy right off the bat. It is Cassidy Gengenbacher taking the opening tip and scoring and converting. It was a 4-0 run to start, quick timeout. Route's only first quarter highlight comes shortly after. It is of the defensive variety as Alyssa Gard comes in with a beautiful block right there. However, the defense would all favor Quincy Notre Dame early and often in this game. Cassidy Gengenbacher again with the steal. The Lindenwood signee with a nice bucket right there. More from Cass right here as she knocks down the triple eventually from the outside as she gets every bit of rim on that. More to come right here. It's Kristen Gengenbacher with a nice steal. The steal and the swoop at the other end, if you will. At this point, it was an 18-1 lead. More Cassidy with the steal. Just tough for Route as they didn't score a field goal in the first quarter or for the first 10 minutes. More stuff coming right here, as you will see. Young Miss Marcola with a nice take at the other end of that as she gets the bucket to fall right there. Great defense in transition. How about some Alyssa Gard? There's that three that finally breaks through for Route. And as I mentioned, Route's a team that may be Elite 8, Final 4 good in Class A. They were just overmatched by a Raider team that's ridiculously talented. More from Kristen Gengenbacher from the outside. She knocks down a triple. Mary Beth Hugenberg also having a really nice showing. This is the first chance we've had a chance to watch her at the varsity level, cleaning up on the offensive glass right here, throwing one off the window. She had a couple of beautiful buckets. And you notice I went this entire time without showing you a Jordan Frericks bucket. The KHQA reigning player of the year, Mizzou signee. We'll get you one before we're out of here. She had a long three. She's been working on her outside touch. The future Missouri Tiger shows it off right here, knocking down the three. Route's a really good team. QND just does this to really good teams, makes them look less than themselves. 77-39, your final in favor of the Lady Raiders, who are now 2-0 on the season. Meanwhile, just up the road in Adams County, wildly entertaining game today at Liberty. Zach Keene promised his team pace would beat Liberty early on. The pace, ridiculous, as Sienna Gilly gets the fill right there. How about the accidental assist right here from Kristen Luce? Her shot deflected to Miranda Nyson. Nyson with a huge day, 24 points, 13 rebounds. More to come from Liberty, and this is the young freshman, Madeline Heyer, and she is gifted. Nice take for her right here at the other end. More to come in this one. It is the miss right there by Madison Worley. Sienna Gilly again. She had 15 points on the day. Good strong showing for Macomb as back and forth would go. Ensuing inbounds pass stolen by the very deft Yanni Sadler. She had 16 to lead her team. Back the other direction we go. All of this in the first quarter, mind you, as the pace was frenetic. That's Kristen Luce from the outside for three. And who's afraid of Caitlin Wolf? On this day, everybody should have been. She had a long two right there as well. Then more from Miss Heyer. She is quick for a post player. Look at the steal. And Miss Madeline getting the kiss at the other end. She gets the members bounce. We're still going strong in this one. Yanni Sadler, another steal. Finding Sydney Hare, who's wide open. Beautiful leave, unselfish play. And a nice little bounce at the other end for Macomb. Macomb trying to get back and tie this thing at the end of the first quarter. They're down 3 at this point. Caitlin Wolf having none of it. She gets the shot to fall. But here comes a nice flourish at the end of the first for Macomb. It starts with Sydney Hare and ends with Rachel Farr and ends with Macomb making good on that pledge to outpace Liberty Payson. They do so and get the win by a narrow margin, but a great road win to hand the Liberty Lady Eagles their first loss of the season, 81-77. That's a good quality road win for the resurgent Macomb Lady Bombers. We've got more for you. The Keokuk Chiefs making their debut at the newly refurbished Wright Fieldhouse. That's a pretty facility. It's facing the other direction. No longer north-south. I think it's east-west now, or vice versa, whatever it is. How about some Lakin Bolts right here? You know her as the outstanding national champion caliber when she was young free throw shooter. Used to beat me up badly in Dare Do Her tonight. She went nuts in this one. Had 2 in the paint right there. Then Paige Cavon works inside, misses but scores off her own rebound. Keokuk taking on a very talented West Branch squad. Again, from the outside, it would be Lakin Bolts. She has touch. She always has, this time from three-point range. She was really good. Rachel Dunlap also waiting for some things to clear out right here. She'd make the easy layup, but the Chiefs fall to a very good West Branch squad tonight. So Keokuk ends up picking up the loss. But it's early in the season, and the Keokuk girls go on the road on Tuesday. The Keokuk boys make their debut at home in the Wright Fieldhouse coming up on Tuesday. Illini West playing in the Galesburg tournament, still trying to fight for a win for Coach Supernut in his coaching debut season. Tough to come by up at Galesburg. Leroy just barely gets past Illini West. Aubrey Carlisle with 12 points in a losing cause for the Chargers. Later in the day, things go no better for the Chargers as they end up losing as well. That second game was to East Peoria. It was by a more sizable margin, 53-45. Gracie Bostert with 10 points in that one as well. We've got more for you. Quincy High tournament today. Quincy High and Pittsfield meeting in the early game. Both teams with a chance, if they could string together a couple of wins, to get into the championship game and avenge themselves against Edwardsville, who beat them both badly yesterday. Early on, good start in this one for Shea O'Brien as she wiggles free for 2. The Sockies were good. How about Precious Bailey, though, answering right away for Quincy High at the other end. Some defense right here. Addie Loggeman, offensive rebound right here, and she gets the putback in this one off the Jaylee Clements miss. Pittsfield takes the early lead in this one, 14-13 at the end of the one, thanks to Shea O'Brien right here, once again doing what she does, scoring. Second quarter, though, or more precisely, the last 10 minutes of the first half belonged to Quincy High. Reagan Wellman, who has been a dynamo off the bench. Damon Dade told me he wanted to find some bench depth. How about Miss Wellman? She had 10 points right there, the larceny and the layup. More to come from the defense. It's Araya Dade doing what she does, doing her thing, if you will. Beautiful steal and the swoop at the other end. The felony and the freebie, if you will. Then more from the Blue Devils' depth. Paige Abel playing creator finds Jordan Fletcher. And Jordan Fletcher had about a 4-minute period in this game where she absolutely went nuts in this one. How about some defense from Fletcher? She's really good with that. That ends up getting Araya Dade free as well. She gets the rebound. And then doing the Dwayne Wade thing. She's going to pull up in transition. And not once, but twice. There's the block right there from Jordan Fletcher. She had about 5 of those. How about Dade? Just fearless in transition, doing it not once but twice on back-to-back possessions. It's a 10-0 run for the Blue Devils as they suddenly take a sizable lead on Liberty. It's one that Liberty really could never come back from. I'm going to punctuate it here with Hannah Reller because she is, to quote my daughter, fierce. Good stuff right there by Hannah Reller as well. Then Jordan Fletcher, a couple of pretty moves right here. She had 12 points on the day to lead all scorers in this game. It would be a big lead for Quincy. Look at Jordan Fletcher right here, too. This is a pretty up and under move. She's 6'4", kids. Great move for her. Pittsfield would make a run in the fourth quarter, down 10 for most of the game. Much of that by Shea O'Brien, who had 11 of her 22 points in that final frame. But to no avail, it would be Quincy High winning by 3 in this one, 48-45. The news, though, not good the rest of the day for either team as Quincy High goes into that backdraw semifinal game and ends up losing. Final score on that game would end up being against East St. Louis, 49-44. Araya Dade had 10 points in the loss there. Pittsfield loses to Metro in the back draw in the consolation bracket as well. 49-45 was your final. Got some college scores to pass along to you today as well. We'll start you off on the men's side of things. Western Illinois in a low-scoring affair at Savannah State loses 39-38. I'm told at Savannah State, courtesy of our friend Bo Spencer, that apparently instead of a record player or a sound system, they got a live DJ. That's pretty cool stuff right there. Unfortunately, not cool stuff for the Leatherneck offense as they fall 39-33. Also today, HLG gets a win over Central Bible College. 87-67 was your final. On the women's side of things, tough day for Western Illinois all around. They go down to the Lou and end up losing to St. Louis by the final count of 55-44. And when we come back, we've got your Con Communication Connection, your last one for the month of November, and it's one I guarantee you will remember. Well, now is that time here on Overtime when we unveil our latest Con Communication Connection nominee for the month of November. Here's the deal. We put up 4 outstanding sports couplings for your perusal, and at the end of the month, which is now, you get a chance to vote for the best of the lot. And as an incentive to vote, anyone who does participate by going online to connecttristates.com to cast their ballot is eligible to win a prize package, and it's a good one from Con Communication. So we had all kinds of things happening with the Thanksgiving tournaments this week. Hold on, how about the humble offering here from Cole Abbey? You people knew this was going to be the Con Communication, as it would be the combination of Cole Abbey and random Carbondale defender who lays strewn on the ground underneath him after a dunk for the ages for that young man. Just ridiculous stuff. The best part of this is that Carbondale was so shocked they didn't even want to inbound the ball after Cole threw that ball down. Just ridiculously good stuff from Mr. Abbey. And our 4th and final nominee for the month, you have a chance to vote for all 4 of them. To remind you, they'll be posted on Monday, by the way, for those of you who can't remember. But just to give you a little primer to warm up for it, here are your nominees. Obviously, earlier in the month, we had soccer still. Boy, this has been a long month. Earlier in the month, we had soccer, and Johnny Lee from Canton with his game-winning penalty kick. That's nominee number 1. Also on the list of nominees, we've got good stuff as well from Dalton Hubner with his kickoff return for a touchdown for Central Southeastern, as we showed you last week. The other nominee was Dakota Longley out of Concord Triopia with that big touchdown catch in the back of the end zone in the loss to Maroa Forsyth. And again, Cole Abbey. Again, you will find all of those nominees listed for you on Monday at connecttristates.com. All you got to do is vote. If you vote, you're eligible to win a great prize package. So there you have it. Vote early, vote often.